to take a survey and you're cheating, hang up. It's War of the Roses on KDWB.
I don't know that we've ever done a War of the Roses before where there's a separated couple. We might have because we've done War of the Roses for a long time, but we've got somebody on the phone who is actually, it's not boyfriend, girlfriend. They're not just dating. They are married. But Samantha, how long have you and Jared, your husband, how long have you been separated?
We have been separated since the summer, mid-June, really.
Okay.
So...
And do you want to, you don't have to get into why you're separated. You could if you wanted to, but that's not the issue. You are concerned that there might be something going on while you're separated. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Basically, I guess just to go back to the separation, we were seeing a therapist, and she said that the best way to do this and really come out ahead and feel like we learned from it was to truly not see other people during our kind of trial separation. Like not to date and not to be, really to be working on ourselves and evaluating the relationship, not just going to look to like hook up or be with other people.
Okay,
so,
and I think I've heard that. It's not a license to go hook up. It's a lesson. It's basically an opportunity to see whether you can live without each other and to to figure the whole thing out. Not a license to go hook up with somebody because now you are, you have some privacy. So,
right.
But you're suspicious that something is going on, that he might be seeing somebody. What's going on?
Well, that's what we're going to figure out, hopefully, because all the signs are there that something is going on. And it's just giving me that yucky feeling in my stomach, that, that pit feeling.
Yeah.
Like last week, he came over to my house. First of all, we share a dog, and we sometimes go back and forth with like random things because he got an apartment and I'm in the house. But he basically came over to borrow our vacuum, and his cologne, like let's just say the smell of his cologne was like off the charts.
Okay.
Like, potent, strong, like smack me in the face.
Did he wear cologne before?
No.
Okay. That is really all I need to know. That's all I need to know. Because why are you wearing cologne unless you are trying to appeal to someone sexually?
I don't know. I don't think cologne is the biggest red
guy.
flag yet. But is there something else, Samantha?
I feel hold on. I have a Post-it note with a few things, and I want to make sure I name them all. So let me grab that. Hang on. Okay. Yep. So number 1 was cologne. Number 2, he got a haircut recently, but not just a trim, because he's always had kind of a little shaggy mullet situation, which I thought was cute. Now it's very like white collar. I'm going into a corporate office. Like he's got all his hair like cut off, like very like Rico Suave, which is not my husband.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So he got a haircut. Cologne, okay.
Yeah. Totally changed his look, almost like a makeover. And then on top of that, I definitely, I don't want to sound crazy, but I've been, Insta stalking. And not only is he going out late, but he's staying up late. And that's just because, on Instagram, you can like see when people were active or whatever. And like sometimes on like a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, I'll be on my Instagram and then I'll go and like look back and be able to see when he was last active. And it's, it's like 8:00 in the morning and it'll be like, last active 5 hours ago or 4 hours ago.
I think I knew that. So if I were to look, let's say look up Jenny's right now. So let's say I go to Instagram.
I think you have to go to my like the conversation in DMs, because then you can kind of see under the username. It'll say active 5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Here it says, okay. Yeah. Jenny KWB active 36 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I am surprised that people aren't complaining about that on Instagram. There's times I feel like it doesn't show that all the time, but anyway, the times I've been looking, it's been showing that.
But the evidence shows, you got the cologne, which to me is like evidence right there. That is no way that your husband, who never wore cologne, is wearing cologne unless he's trying to appeal to somebody or somebody said, hey, I got you some cologne, or you should wear some cologne, especially if he's putting it on, because a guy that doesn't wear cologne often doesn't realize you don't need to put on a lot, just a little. Mm-hmm. Also, the haircut is odd, but the thing about him, unless he just has insomnia, you know what? You're saying that he's, active at 2:00 in the morning. Maybe he just can't sleep. It could be because he misses you. It could be just because he's up and he can't sleep because you're on his mind. But here's what we can do.
I like that you're optimistic like that. But
Well,
I'm not,
I hope that's
sure.
the case. But here's what we can do. We can call him and we can do the whole roses routine and say, hey, take the survey. We'll give you a dozen roses. Send the roses to whoever you want to. And if you send the roses, to you, Samantha, that's good. But we'll find out if he sends them to you or somebody else, okay?
Are they cheating? Let's find out. Part 2 of War of the Roses starts right now on KDWB.
So on War of the Roses today, they are separated and they are not supposed to hook up with anybody else. But she thinks that he is because of the cologne.
And she saw he's been active on Instagram super late in the middle of the night.
He got his hair cut.
Which, some people get their hair cut, but it seemed like it was a drastic haircut.
So is he hooking up with somebody while they're separated? Because that was not part of the deal. I guess when you get separated, you're supposed to work on your marriage, not work on hooking up.
Yes.
So we're going to make the phone call and find out whether he sends the roses to his wife or to somebody else.
That's all I needed from you, Jared. So now, like I said, I have a dozen roses to send out to whoever you'd like. I need a name for who you want to send those roses to.
Send them to Morgan.
All right, awesome. So I got her name down. And then also, we do offer a card that you can send to her if you want to write a note on it or anything. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, I would. Let's just write the word soon.
What was it again?
Soon. S-O-O-N. And she'll know what it means.
Oh, okay. Simple enough. That saves us some characters on the card. So soon. Got that.
Saves characters on the card because you got to economize on those characters.
Yeah.
What in the world is going on here? There's so many questions. But first, I think I owe you an explanation, Jared. This is a trap. This is a trap. We are calling to see who you would send roses to. We were kind of hoping that you would send them to your wife. And who is we? It is the Dave Ryan Show, Dave and Jenny, over on KDWB Radio. And apparently you don't listen to us, or you would know that you were on a feature we call War of the Roses, where we try to trap people who might be kind of sneaking around a little bit. But then you wonder, are you still with me, Jared? You're still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so then you start to wonder, you go, well, who would do this? Well, it's interesting because your wife listens to KWB, and she called us and she said, hey, will you call my husband Jared and see whether he sends flowers to me? And she's listening in right now. Samantha, say hi to Jared.
Well, hi, but what the literal F did you mean by soon is what I want to know. And also, who the F is Morgan?
That's a legitimate question. I think that we're wondering why you would send them to Morgan, but also, she's been suspicious for a while. Do you want to tell him why you've been suspicious a little bit, Samantha, about maybe that he's seeing somebody else?
Come on. You got your hair cut. That's just bizarre. You never cut your hair. And then the cologne, you've been wearing cologne. Not to mention you're up late at night on Instagram and you haven't even been posting lately, like you're trying to hide who you've been with. And you got your car detailed. Like, come on. You're going to sit here and tell me
you're ridiculous. First of all, this is not the forum to be doing this. Are you following me? So I get a haircut. Name me one human being who doesn't get haircuts. That is the dumbest thing I've heard. I got a haircut. And why are you doing this?
Calling me dumb? Okay, well, just answer the question. Are you seeing somebody or not?
Let me ask you something. Do you really want to discuss all this in this setting right now? And by the way, I know you're seeing somebody else too. Do you think I don't see the lingerie you're buying on Amazon?
Samantha, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
She got kind of quiet.
Yeah. Look, I think we're done here.
I wanted to see if she explained the lingerie away innocently, because you can buy lingerie innocently. Right? You tell me. I've never bought any.
No, I would say no, you couldn't. I would never go and waste money on lingerie if it wasn't for someone to see it at some point. So
The telling thing to me is she got really quiet when he said, "You don't think I see that you bought lingerie?" Because you can see your purchase history, obviously, on Amazon. And if they have the shared account, he can see that. She could have, if it was innocent, explained it away, but she was caught. And I think what would be going through her mind is like, oh my God, I never thought about that one. So she was upset that he was. We're going to bring Jonathan Fogel into the conversation here. Good morning, counselor.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Doing good. So she was worried that he's using the separation to hook up with other people now that he's got his own apartment, freedom and privacy. And so she was worried about that. But it sounds like she was hooking up too, or at least planning on it with the lingerie. Let me ask you a couple of questions, Jonathan, before we get to your professional legal analysis. Separation is not meant to go out and party it up like you're single again. It's meant to work things out. Am I right or wrong about that?
I think that's right. If people are going to separate, I guess individually they can do whatever they want, but it seems to me if you're going to separate to try to work on your marriage, that doesn't mean that you're, to go out and hook up.
Another question. When somebody is suspecting that their partner is cheating, is it sometimes because they are cheating, or is that just one of those things that we run into on War of the Roses?
Well, I think it's probably pretty common, right? Sometimes, people deflect, right? They say that, oh, well, you're doing this when they're really the ones doing it. Not just with cheating, but I think with other things in life as well. But yes, I have seen that quite a bit where my client is the one doing kind of all the bad things, but they're pointing their finger at the other person.
Gotcha. Jonathan Fogel is a family attorney. He's been on the show doing War of the Roses analysis. He's kind of like the color commentator when you watch NFL football. Jonathan Fogel's on the sideline wearing a headset going, oh, damn. Did you see that? And Jenny and I are like, oh, damn. Anyway, Jonathan, legally, what do we take away? Or what does this remind you of with your practice in War of the Roses?
Well, I'll tell you, first of all, I'm going to have to maybe slow it down on the Dracar cologne because maybe that's causing some problems.
Do they still make that stuff? That'll take the paint off of an old stool, right?
Yeah, I'm aging myself there a little bit.
Yeah.
But, so what I focused on, though, is the idea, because this was a new War of the Roses type of deal where people are married but separated. So we see that, right? So there's a difference between a legal separation and just a kind of casual separation that people can have. And I had a case where the husband and wife separated, not legally, but just were living in different places trying to work on their marriage, right? And during that time, the husband's business took off, increased in value exponentially, right? And he didn't think that he would have to share that increase in value. He's like, hey, we were separated, so she's not entitled to that increase. And he was wrong. Because they were still legally married, the increase in value and the assets that are acquired when you're just casually separated, those can all be divided during a divorce. So
even if they were separated, his business takes off and triples in value. She gets her share just like they were married.
That's right. There's some extenuating circumstances. If it was 10, 15 years, maybe it would be different. But, even a year, they're still married. And you can do a legal separation in Minnesota. You don't see them that much, but sometimes people do them for religious reasons or because they're trying to reconcile, because it can determine your rights. If you do a legal separation and then your business takes off, if you've dealt with that in the legal separation papers, then you get to keep it all.
Okay, gotcha. I wonder how many people I wonder if people would be willing to text in and say, when I was separated, I cheated, or not cheated, but I hooked up with other people. Or when I was separated, my partner took that as an opportunity to hook up with other people. Because I'm going to guess that happens a lot, but that's not the idea. Takeaway lesson from War of the Roses, a little piece of advice. Jonathan, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so takeaway, I guess, kind of ties into that separation idea and what we call date evaluation, right? So assets have to be valued at the same date when you get divorced. So if you get legally separated, your date evaluation may not have been set yet. And what I mean by that is if you have retirement accounts, if you have investment accounts, bank accounts, we have to use the same date. For example, we would use maybe November 1st as the date to value all of your assets. Because if you use different dates for different assets, you're really comparing apples to oranges. The accounts may go up and down. So that's one of the things that gets very hotly contested in high asset divorces is what date are we going to use for the value of all of our assets? And some people fight for one, and the other person fights for another date.
If I was going to get a divorce, and let's say I had a lot of money socked away, I got $100,000 socked away somewhere, could I give it to Jenny and then say, Jenny, I'm giving you this money, then I don't have to give half to Susan?
Yeah.
When Susan and I now are divorced, I say, Jenny, give me back my $100,000. I'll let you keep $1,000 of
Went
it.
to the casino.
Is that legal?
Well, it's not illegal. It's
Okay,
just
good to know.
Inappropriate.
Okay.
Illegal is a criminal deal. But what would happen is the courts would claw that back, and they would call that what they say dissipation. You dissipated those assets, and Susan would still get half of the $100,000.
Son of a...
Yeah, I was
Sorry,
going to
Jenny.
say.
All right.
It's
Deal's
okay,
off.
Jonathan.
All right. Jonathan, always fun to talk to you. He is a family attorney, and he's one of those guys that, you know what, you think of an attorney as being like very, very stodgy, and she's wearing like a lace collar, and she looks so like somebody on Suits and very intimidating. Then you got Jonathan Fogel. You come in, you kick your feet up on his desk, and then you spill the beans and tell him what's going on, and Jonathan will walk you through the whole process. So
Yeah, I'm usually in a crop top and cut off shorts, so I'm all good.
Nice, Jonathan. I didn't know this about you.
Gotta go. All right. Find him online. Find him online at FogelFamilyLaw.com, Fogel, FogelFamilyLaw.com, or the phone number, which we always like to give. What is the number?
Yeah, 612-822-6244.
612-822-6244. And you can talk to Jonathan in person and set up an appointment to get the whole thing started, or kind of fix something that might not be going well in a separation, divorce, custody, payments, anything like that. Thank you, Jonathan. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, you two guys. Talk to you soon.